What is resonance? It is a way of writing the delocalization of electrons within a molecule. Delocalization means a movement of electrons. Here they have shown the bonded pair and the lone bonded pair of electrons also. Okay, it will constitute the resonance hybrid. Finite value of dipole moment for NH3 indicates the trigonal pyramidal structure, non-planar structure. Hello everyone, this is Harshita Bhavasar from Vidyashram School of Excellence. Today we are starting up the session 2 from the chapter Chemical Bonding and Molecular Structure. In the last class, we have discussed about the introduction of chemical bonding, Kozul-Lewis approach, the types of chemical bonds. In that, ionic and covalent bond we have discussed. So today we are discussing about the resonance structures, polar character of a covalent bond, and some of the points in Fejan's rule. This is resonance structures. What are resonance structures? Why we have to write so many resonance structures means, see, we have discussed about the Lewis structure, that is Lewis dot structure in the last session. In that session, we will write the dotted structures according to valency around the element. But experimentally, if you want to get a evidence with theoretical and experimental evidence, only one kind of writing, that is Lewis structure, is not enough. So we have to write the Lewis structures, that is the canonical forms of each compound structure. Okay, so we'll see. It is often observed that a single Lewis structure proves inadequate in reasoning out the experimentally determined parameters for the predicted structures. That's what I told. See, experimentally so many bonding parameters or so many parameters will be shown that cannot be proved by only writing Lewis structure. So we have to write various kinds of resonance structures. Resonance is a way of describing delocalization of electrons within certain molecules or polyatomic ions where the bonding cannot be expressed by a single Lewis formula. What is resonance? It is a way of writing the delocalization of electrons within a molecule. Delocalization means a movement of electrons. How it will be done within a molecule will be seen by writing various kinds of structures. Okay. For example, ozone molecule, that is O3. Okay, this is all are O3 molecules, right? But see here in the first structure, O and between single bond of oxygen and oxygen, it is having 148 picometer. Here double bond is having 121 picometer. Okay, but see here, same it is double bond. It has been twisted here. Double bond 121. Single bond 148 only, but experimentally they got like a 128 picometer for single bond, same like double bond is having also 128 picometer. Okay, see here, equivalent Lewis dot structures as shown in structure 3 of ozone called Lewis structures are used. According to the concept of resonance, whenever a single Lewis structure cannot describe a molecule accurately, a number of structures with similar energy positions of nuclei, bonding and non-bonding pair of electrons are taken as the canonical structures of the hybrid which describes the molecule accurately. Thus for O3, the two structures, that is 1 and 2 shown above constitute the canonical structures or resonance structures, and their hybrid, that is structure 3 called the resonance hybrid, represents the accurate structure of O3. Resonance is represented by double-headed arrow. See here, this is a theoretical form and this is an experimental form. Whatever it has been written in a dotted, it is a resonance hybrid. Okay, with the same energy they have written another kind of structure, and here they have shown the bonded pair and the lone bonded pair of electrons also. Okay, it will constitute the resonance hybrid. That is what they are telling. Okay, the overall ozone molecule, how many kinds you can write? The 3 structures you can write. Within that, one will be resonance hybrid, other 2 will be the structure. Within that, wherever the energy is less with the high stability, that molecule, that structure will be considered as the structure of the desired molecule. Okay, next one. the structures of carbonate ion CO3 2 minus. See here, this is the first step or one kind of structure. Here the minus sign will move here. Okay, the delocalization of electrons is taking place. Minus sign here, this pi electron will move here. Okay, overall this is one form, and it can be from double bond to single here, and again negative to form an one bond. See here, everywhere negative and negative, here lone pairs. But all the three structures will called as canonical forms or resonance structures. Okay, here also see CO2 molecule, these two electrons will move here, it will form one bond. Okay, this bond will move here and it will become a pair of electrons by forming here triple bond. Okay, but actually this is a kind of molecule, that structure of a molecule, but these are two resonance structures, with one will be the resonance hybrid. Okay, it can be generalized as follows. Resonance stabilizes the molecule as the energy for the resonance hybrid is less than the energy of any single canonical structure. Whatever the resonance hybrid have been produced in that molecule structure, that is less than the energy of any single canonical structure. The resonance hybrid energy will be less than the other structures of the molecule. Resonance averages the bond characteristics as a whole. In the ozone molecule, we consider the energy of the O3 resonance hybrid is lower than the either of the two canonical forms, that is 1 and 2. Okay, how it will be averages? In the ozone molecule, that resonance hybrid, that is structure 3, is having less energy comparative to structure 1 and 2, that is canonical form 1 and 2 is having more energy comparative to structure 3rd canonical form of ozone molecule. The canonical forms have no real existence. Whatever we are showing the structures in the delocalization part, it doesn't have any real existence. Just we are showing how the delocalization, how the movement of electrons will be done. Only the real existence will be having the molecule or the structure is having more stability with least energy. The molecule does not exist for a certain fraction of time in one canonical form and in another instance in the another form. For example, you have seen ozone in 3 forms. Any 3 forms, it cannot be in a certain time also. It will be fluctuated for another form of canonical form. That's why we cannot see in a real existence also. So another way, you cannot see for a long time also. It will be jumped for another canonical form till it gets the stability. This is what the resonance have been given so many statements. Next we will see the polar character of a covalent bond. When a covalent bond is formed between identical atoms, see here, polar character of a covalent bond means any molecule, it cannot be completely ionic, it cannot be completely covalent. Sometimes in a covalent bond, you can expect or you can see some of the ionic nature, or in ionic bond, you can observe some of the covalent nature. So, for that to show postulates or to show some of the points, exceptions, they have showed the polar character of a covalent bond. When a covalent bond is formed between identical atoms, okay, or atoms of having nearly same electronegativities, the shared pair of electrons are equally attracted by the atoms and the bond is said to be non-polar. Means here H and H or Cl and Cl or O and O. Whatever the same molecules with having same electronegativities, because similar atoms or same atoms, right? Identical atoms. So this bond is said to be non-polar. Here no charge separation will be there. Both the elements will be having same charges, right? That's why. Thus the bond between 2 H atoms or 2 Cl atoms or 2 O atoms or 2 N atoms is known as non-polar. When a covalent bond is formed between dissimilar atoms, that is X and Y, with difference in the electronegativities, the bond pair is pulled closer to the with higher electronegativity. If it is Y, it will pull the electrons towards the Y only. As a result, Y will acquire a partial negative charge and X will acquire a partial positive charge. Thus, the bond has partial ionic character and it is called polar covalent bond. Okay, see here, this is more electronegative. In HCl, this is having more electronegative charge and this is having less electronegative charge. That's why here it is acquiring delta negative charge. Here also partial positive charge. See, in H2O also, O is more electronegative. That's why negative charge, H is less electronegative. That's why it is getting electropositive. Okay. Next is dipole moment. And this kind of bond will be called as polar bond. Okay. Or polar molecule or polar bond will be called. For this, charge separation will be there. It will be expressed in a dipole moment. So how it can be seen in a dipole moment? A molecules of the type XY having two polar ends with the partial positive charge and negative charges are called dipoles or polar molecules. The degree of polarity is measured in terms of dipole moment. This is mu. Okay. See, in this molecule, X is electronegative. This is electropositive, means the electrons will pull towards this side, correct? So, this will become polar molecule and this overall polarity will be expressed in mu, that is dipole moment. Dipole moment is defined as the product of net positive or negative charge and the distance between the two charged ends. That formalized dipole moment, charge on the polar ends into distance between the ends, that is mu equals to delta into L, charge into distance. The unit of dipole moment is d by. Okay. The SI unit of dipole moment is coulombs meter. 1 d by equivalent to 3.355 into 10 to the power of minus 30 centimeter. This is the standard of the 1 d by. Okay. This is about our introduction or actual concept of dipole moment. Okay. Next, dipole moment is represented by an arrow with positive on the tail drawn above the molecule pointing towards the negative. See here, this is electronegative. If it is Y is electronegative, this is electropositive. The head of the arrow will be pointing towards the Y, the tail will be pointing towards the X. Okay. Dipole moment is a vector quantity. For homodiatomic molecules like H2, Cl2, O2, N2, etc., mu will be 0. Because it's a non-polar molecule, the electronegativity will be no that much difference between there. They are non-polar. Heterodiatomic molecules like HF, HCl, HBr, etc. have a finite dipole moment. See here, 1.91 d by for HF, 1.10 d for HCl, 0.80 d, 0.42 d, like this it will be there. Decrease in the dipole moment from the HF to HI is due to the decrease in electronegativities of the halogen atoms from F to I, means fluorine to iodine. Fluorine to iodine, the electronegativity will be decreased down the group. That's why the dipole moment will also decrease. As I told, mu is a vector quantity and has both magnitude and direction. Okay. Next, applications of dipole moment. Measurement of dipole moment is helpful in predicting the geometry of the molecules. Whatever the dipole moment we will measure, or by the measurement of dipole moment, predicting the geometry of molecules. You can tell it is a square planar or bent or trigonal planar. Like that you can predict the geometry of the molecules. Zero dipole moment of CO2 indicates the linear structure. Usually CO2 will be in linear structure. Okay, because its dipole moment is 0. You will discuss in next coming session or coming slides. Zero dipole moment of BF3, C6H6 and CH4 account for their symmetric structure. Okay. BF3 means B, this is F. This is symmetric in nature. If you pass any line from plane, you will get complete same half. That's why it is symmetric. You cannot get that dipole moment value also. Finite value of dipole moments for H2O, SO2 rule out the possibility of a linear structure. For H2O, this is O, this is H. You cannot export the zero dipole moment. It is having some finite value. Finite value of dipole moment for NH3 indicates the trigonal pyramidal structure, non-planar structure. Okay, finite value which show these so many geometry or so many structures of molecules also. It is helpful in predicting the ionic character of a molecule. It helps to distinguish between polar and non-polar molecules also. Yes, it will distinguish between whether the molecule is polar or non-polar also. If it is mu equal to 0, then it will be non-polar. If it is mu is having some definite value of dipole moment, it will be polar. Next we'll see one by one the dipole moment of some of the molecules. Within that, CO2, that is carbon dioxide. CO2 molecule is linear and the two C double bond O bonds are identical. Hence the two bond dipole act in a opposite direction and cancel each other. Therefore the net dipole moment is the 0. See here, it is electronegative. Here also electronegative atom is present. So what will happen? The direction will goes in a opposite side in a equidistant way. So it will cancel out. Mu will be 0. Although the molecule has a polar covalent bonds, the net dipole moment is 0. It is a covalent bond, it is having polar in nature, okay? But then also in the opposite way it cancels out. So its dipole moment is 0. It will be considered as non-polar molecule. It is having polar covalent bond, but due to the cancellation of the charges, it will be considered as non-polar molecule, okay? Next, dipole moment of H2O. H2O molecule has bent structure. This is having the bent structure. Hence, individual bond moments do not cancel each other. Such molecules possess a definite value of dipole moment which depends upon the magnitude of the bond moments and the bond angle. See here, O is more electronegative. It is having 2H. Okay. It is in a bent structure. Y means it is more electronegative. It is having some of the lone pairs also here. So, the lone pairs will distort the structure, okay. It will show the repulsive nature here. What will happen? The two ends of H will become in a bent shape. Obviously, it will form an angle that will be called as bond angle. Here 104 degree 27 seconds will be there. This is the resultant dipole. It is in the showing in a opposite structure, right. So, the dipole moment is having 1.85 dBi, okay. So, it is having some finite dipole moment. It is called distorted structure. Next, dipole moment of BF3. The dipole moment of BF3 is 0, indicating the symmetrical structure. In BF3, each BF bond has a bond dipole. The resultant of any two BF3 bond dipoles neutralizes the third BF3 bond dipole, leading to the 0 value of the net dipole moment. See here, whatever here BF3 molecule is showing, it is more electronegative. All are more electronegative, yes. But cancelling each other, it is in the opposite side. These two are in opposite side. That's why it will cancel each other. These two in opposite side, it will go cancel each other. What will happen? After cancellation, mu will becomes to 0. That is, dipole moment will becomes to 0 because all the resultant bonds are in opposite side to one another. It will cancel each other through its magnitude. So, its dipole moment will be completely 0. It will become a non-polar molecule. Okay. Next, ammonia, that is NH3. A definite value of dipole moment of NH3 suggests that its structure is non-planar. NH3 is found to have pyramidal structure. In this geometry, the resultant of two dipoles do not cancel each other with a third bond dipole. Moreover, the lone pair of electrons have a dipole. Hence, the dipole moment of NH3 molecule is the resultant of the bond moments of the three NH bonds due to the lone pair. See here, that nitrogen is having one pair of lone pair. It will go towards that lone pair will distort the structure of remaining NH3. This is more electronegative than H, so the resultant will move towards the H. Since the lone pair is present, the overall resultant will move towards the lone pair. What will happen? The net dipole moment will move in a one direction, not with opposite to cancel with each other. Okay. Both NH3 and NF3 molecules have pyramidal shape with a lone pair of electrons on nitrogen atom. Although fluorine is more electronegative than nitrogen, the resultant dipole of ammonia is greater than the NF3. Why means, see here, In NH3, you know that this lone pair will pull towards. Here, it is more electronegative than nitrogen. That's why what will happen? It will move towards this side. Okay, here one lone pair is there. That resultant will move towards up. Okay. In ammonia, orbital dipole due to the lone pair in the same directions as the resultant dipole of the NH bonds, whereas in the NF3, the orbital dipoles is the opposite direction to the resultant dipole of the 3NF bonds. The orbital dipole, because of the lone pair, decreases the effect of the resultant NF bonds movements, which results in the low dipole moment of NF3. See, here that NF3, that whatever fluorine atom is there, it will pull the electrons towards its side. But here, due to the lone pair present on the nitrogen, it will move on the another side. Okay, that resultant will keep on expanding. That's why what will happen, the resultant overall dipole moment will get decreased comparative to ammonia. It is in one direction. It is in opposite direction. Opposite direction means obviously little bit less dipole you can expect. So, it will be seen like this. This is the reason why ammonia is less than, it is having the dipole moment is less than NF3. Although that fluorine is more electronegative comparative to hydrogen. Okay. Next one, covalent character of an ionic bond. I have told already, in so many molecules you cannot say it's completely ionic, it can completely covalent. In some of the covalent character or some of the ionic character, you will see some characteristics of covalent nature. How you can see in this part, that will be called as Fejan's rule. Okay. Covalent character of an ionic bond depends on polarizing power of a cation and the polarizability of an anion. Okay, it depends on polarizing character of cation. Cation means it loses its electron, anion means it gains the electron from the cation. Correct? The greater the polarizing power and the high polarizability favor covalency in an ionic bond. The electron losing character of cation, electron gaining character of an anion is greater. It favors the formation of, or it favors the covalency in ionic bond. According to Fejan's rules, a small cation favors the covalent character. Yes, cation is getting smaller means it's losing its electrons. It favors the covalent character. Sharing of electrons will be more. For example, among LiCl and KCl, LiCl is more covalent while KCl is ionic because LiCl is having small size. Larger the anion favors the covalent bond because it's gaining the electrons. That's why LiF, LiCl, LiBr and Li. Between these, lithium iodide is more because its size is more. See here, larger charge on either ion, both the ion favors the covalent character. Whatever the charge is present in the both side, if it is charge is more, the covalency will be favored. Okay. This is ionic, this is covalent because of the transfer of electrons. Covalent character is favored if the cation does not have noble gases configuration. For example, copper chloride and NaCl, copper plus ion has greater polarizing power than Na plus. Hence, copper chloride has covalent character while NaCl has ionic character. Means covalent character is favored if the cation does not have noble gas configuration. If the element or compound is having noble gas configuration, it will be in octet configuration. Correct? The electrons will be completely fulfilled. That means if the cation is having that configuration, it will be favored for the formation of covalent character. Next, applications of Fejan's rule. Whatever we have seen, larger of cation should be there, smaller of cation should be there, larger of anion should be there, and it should be covalent. The two atoms should have larger charges. These are all things we have seen. So, what is the application we are seeing now? If the polarizing power of a cation increases, there is a subsequent increase in the polarization, leading to an increase in covalent character of a ionic bond. This results in a decrease in the melting point and solubility and increases in the tendency to impart color. whenever the polarizing power of a cation will increase, automatically it will increases the polarization and it will increase the covalent character of a ionic bond also. So it results in a decrease of melting point as well as imparting to the color, the tendency. Okay. See here covalent character. Barium chloride is greater than magnesium chloride, is greater than calcium chloride and strontium chloride than barium chloride due to the increase in the size of a cation. Here, if you see, the cation size has been increased. That's why the covalent character of barium chloride is more comparative to barium chloride, that is beryllium chloride. Okay. Here, sodium oxide is less than sodium sulfide because the size of O is less than sulfur. That is, oxygen is less than sulfur. Sodium chloride is less than silver chloride since sodium cation has noble gas configuration while Ag plus, that is silver, has a pseudo-noble electronic configuration. Okay. Whenever the electronic configuration is comparative to noble gas, its size will be same. Means it will not decrease or it will not increase. Okay. Next. What about the melting point? Tin chloride is greater than tin tetrachloride because tin tetrachloride has more covalent character due to +4 oxidation state. Therefore, tin chloride is a solid while tin tetrachloride is a liquid. Melting point in which it will be more? In tin chloride only more. This is same. Whatever the reason is there, that's what only lead chloride and lead tetrachloride. For melting point of ionic solids, do consider the lattice energy as it can give rise to a exceptions. Lattice energy, you know, to break the crystal you need some energy, that is called lattice energy. So they are telling for the ionic solids, you consider that lattice energy more than the above characteristics. Next is solubility. See here, BF2 is greater than Cl2Br2I2 due to the increase in size of an anion, the covalent character will be increased. You know that greater the size of anion, covalent character will decreases. That's what they are telling here. This is due to +3 oxidation state, that is ferric hydroxide state. It shows the covalent character is more. And here oxidation exceptions are hydration enthalpy with respect to solubility of ionic solids. Hydration enthalpy means it will soluble should in water, right? That is hydration enthalpy. This is imparting color or color tendency, covalent character in fluorine, chlorine, silver bromine, silver iodide and silver sulfide. The tendency here, covalent tendency, if getting more means color is also getting less means colorless, little bit more white, little bit more light yellow means covalent character increases means the color imparting tendency also automatically get increased. Okay, this is about the Fejan's rule and its applications. So in the next class, you will study about the complete geometry of covalent molecules and the VSC-PRE theory and valence bond theory. I hope you have completely understood what I have taught today. So we'll meet in the next session. Thank you.